What is up, YouTube? Back on a YouTube video. We're here with a Legend Lost Sector guide for VELES Labyrinth. As you can see, you're going to find this on your Destinations tab, and then go to the Cosmodrome here. And when you spawn in, you can spawn up here at Skywatch, and then go through the complex here, but I don't really like doing that, so I'm going to spawn at the steps. I'm going to show you how you can get your way through this kind of little, way slash cave there. So pretty much all you got to do is spawn in here, and then to make your way over there, just follow the path here. It's pretty simple. I know it looks super confusing if you look at it from the map, but just kind of keep going this way, and you're gonna see kind of like these buildings, I guess you can say, in the distance as you cross here, and you're gonna see that building there, kind of like that big one with the satellite on it. Make your way towards that one, but don't go inside of it. Just kind of use that as your waypoint, and then you're gonna see here as I make a turn, we're gonna go up here. And then again, you're going to see these planes, you're going to see that big building. Once you see this last plane right here on the side, all you're going to have to do is keep going straight. And then in between the building and the plane over here, just go through this little way over here. You're going to see this waterfall. You're going to notice there's no enemies. And the reason I like to do this is because, one, in my opinion, it's easier. You can use your Sparrow. If you go through the complex, you're going to have to, shoot enemies. The enemies are going to be shooting at you. If you try to use your Sparrow, they're going to probably blow it up. I just recommend going this way. It's a lot easier, a lot smoother. You don't have to worry about a lot of enemies, and we make it to the Forgotten Shore anyway. So make your way here, and you're going to notice these ships. The Lost Sector is going to be inside a ship. It's going to be inside the one all the way on the right over here, as you can see. And we're going to have the banner slash flag over here. If you don't see this icon on your map or the flag in person, you do have to drop inside the Lost Sector. So jump on top, make your way through here, and then you're going to have to go all the way inside, and you're going to find some red health bar enemies. It is going to show you the first mechanic of the Lost Sector, where you have to pretty much use the runes slash plates, whatever you want to call them, to interact with it in order to, unlock, I guess, the pathway. But you can see there's an A symbol is what I call it, and then there's just always going to be a plate there. Shoot that, and then it'll allow you to enter. And then you can see from this point forward, just kill all the enemies, kill the boss, do the chest at the end, and you'll unlock Legend and Master difficulty. Now we're going to work our way back up here, and we're going to go over the present modifiers for this Lost Sector, and then we'll eventually make our way to the loadout and then the gameplay. But you can see we're going to work our way back up. It does take a bit of time to get back up here, I'm not going to lie. But you can see we're right here. And now all we got to do is go for the modifiers. So the first one is shielded foes. You'll face combatants with arc and solar shields. We have legend modifiers, locked loadout and extra shields, equipment locked, limited revives, barrier and unstoppable champions, arc threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Then we have fire pit. When defeated, acolytes spawn fire pools that cause damage over time. Overcharged weapons. Weapon overcharges from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Strand surge, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage. Then solar surge, 25% bonus to outgoing solar damage. Overcharged shotgun, 25% bonus to shotgun damage. And then if completed solo, exotic arms armor is rare, and enhancement cores are uncommon. Recommended power is 1830, but 1810 and above you should be just fine. So let's get into the loadout. Now for the subclass, we are running Shrine. You can see Soak Strike with Marksman Dodge, Triple Jump, Threaded Spike, and Threading Grenades. And we have Widow Silk with Threaded Spectre. And then we have Thread of Generation, Thread of Evolution, Thread of Binding, and Thread of Continuity. Now when it comes to our kinetic weapon, we're running Malfeasance. And you can see here I do have the Catalyst with the Vorpal weapon on it. So it does increase damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians with their super active. Well, all we care about is the increased damage against bosses as well as the champions that we're going to encounter. And this weapon does have intrinsic unstoppable champion rounds, so we're going to be able to stun unstoppable champions with this weapon. So that's why we're going to be using it. And overall, I think it's just a good pick to run for this Lost Sector. Now, the solar auto rifle we're going to be running, it doesn't matter which one. I just happen to have this crafted one. And to be honest, the perks don't really matter either, just because we're not really synergizing with the solar subclass. If you are, and by all means run something like Incandescent or something like that. But you can see for me, I'm just using this only to break barrier shields. That's pretty much it. That's the only time you're going to see me use it. So we are going to be running anti-barrier auto rifle. But again, feel free to just change it up whatever you want. Just know this is the only reason I'm using the auto rifle is to break those barrier shields. Now, when it comes to my heavy circular logic, you can see it's a Strand LMG, holds a lot of ammo, has nanotech tracer rockets, which is going to get a buff from the seasonal artifact perk that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But we're also just going to have a lot of more heavy ammo, like I said. That's really going to be useful at the end of the gameplay, because you're going to get swarmed by a lot of AI in this lost sector. So having a heavy that has a lot of ammo, as well as just something you can constantly just shoot out ammo with, is going to be really useful in certain scenarios. So that's why I like circular logic, and that's why I got it on here. Now for the armor, you can see for the helmet, just the assets: gain bonus super energy on grenade kills, kinetic siphon, rapid kinetic weapon final blows create orbs of power, and strand siphon, rapid strand weapon final blows create orbs of power. So just to break this down here, we are going to be using malfeasance a lot, so I'm going to be using kinetic siphon. That way rapid kinetic weapon final blows are going to create those orbs of power, so we can fill up our super and stuff like that. And then harmonic siphon is rapid strand weapon final blows. Now harmonic siphon is going to match whatever you have equipped as your subclass. So you can see if I switch to solar, I'm going to have kinetic and solar now. Just so you can see, I switched to void, I have kinetic and void. So I'm going to be running strand, so that's going to give me strand siphon. That way my kinetic and strand weapons will generate orbs. You can see here, kinetic weapon, strand weapon. Now my solar weapon isn't going to generate orbs, that's why I'm not going to use it too much. I'm only going to use it to break shields. But just know, if maybe you are going to use the auto rifle more than malfeasance, then throw on solar siphon instead of kinetic siphon, and then make those changes where they need to be made. Now for the arms, you can see we got firepower, your grenade final blows create orbs of power, and then your second one is grenade kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Then additionally, your armor charge is consumed and you gain additional grenade energy for each stack. Then we have fastball, which increases grenade throw distance. And just to show you, fastball is not that important. We're using threadling grenades at the end of the day, and they're going to find out enemies anyway. It doesn't really matter where you throw them, but I just have it there because it's the only option. Now when it comes to the chest piece, this is where we have our damage resistant mods, and you can see I have 2 arc here and 1 solar. It's just what I used to get the lost sector done with. I didn't really have too many problems. It was just the arc damage is a lot in this lost sector, so just keep that in mind. There is void damage from the ogres, but you only it's not like they're every single enemy in the lost sector, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But if you do want to make changes, go ahead and do whatever you want, but I did it with 2 arc and 1 solar. Now for the leg armor, this is where we're running Star Eater Scales, the exotic, and we got Feast of Light, which is the main perk. So it says pick up orbs of power to overcharge your super. And what this is going to allow you to do is, when you pick up orbs, not only are you going to charge up your super like regularly, but once your super is fully charged, you can pick up 4 extra orbs to get Feast of Light times 4, which is going to increase the maximum damage output that you can do, and it's just going to be a guaranteed way to get that boss kill at the end. So that's how I'm going to be using that. Now with this, we have better already. Your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an orb of power. Strand weapon surge. Your strand weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. Then we have kinetic weapon surge, which is your kinetic weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge, and your armor charge now decays over time. So remember, our kinetic weapon, malfeasance, and our strand weapon, circular logic. These are the only 2 weapons that are going to benefit from that. If you know you're going to use the solar auto rifle more than malfeasance, then make sure you change it from kinetic siphon to solar siphon, or not solar siphon, solar weapon surge. That way you can take advantage of that, because if you're using your auto rifle, you're not going to be generating a lot of orbs if you're using this specific loadout that I'm using here. You have to use either your malfeasance or your LMG to get kills to generate orbs. That way you can overcharge your super, charge your super faster, and then take advantage of all these buffs. But just to highlight kind of the loop that you want to do here, so you can see we are going to generate orbs with kills with kinetic siphon and strand siphon. Now once you generate orbs, pick those up and keep using your kinetic or strand weapon, because then you're going to get the strand weapon surge and the kinetic weapon surge, which is going to increase how much damage you do with them. It's not a whole lot, but it's still better than doing the least amount of damage you can do, right? You're just going to increase it by a little bit. You'll one-shot red health bar enemies or something like that, so just keep that in mind. But then when it comes to better already, if you're one shot and you pick up that orb, it's going to heal you as well. So you have a lot of benefits here that really, you don't have to worry too much about activating. All you have to do is run and pick up an orb. So again, not anything too complicated. And one thing I do want to note here is where is it? Firepower. Your grenade final blows create orbs of power too. So when you use grenades, you have a chance to generate orbs. So again, a lot of ways to generate orbs without having to do a whole lot is, pretty easy. Now for the cloak, we have 2 time dilation mods. Your decaying armor charge has longer duration, and then bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So getting into the seasonal artifact here, we have anti-barrier auto rifle. That way we can stun those barrier shields and do it pretty easily with the auto rifle. So that's why I have that. Then we have the origin perk specialization 1. This is just to kind of increase the damage a little bit with nanotech tracer rockets, which is the origin trait for circular logic, the heavy that I'm using. Now if you know you're not going to be using it, then feel free to just change that and use something else. But I do have this tangles perk over here in the 3rd row, and it says strand weapon final blows have a chance to generate a tangle. So if we're using our LMG to get kills, we have a chance to generate a tangle. Then you can pair that with something like refreshing pickups. Picking up a tangle or elemental orb grants energy to your least powered ability. And then you can also run elemental munitions, which is combatant final blows with tangles, or elemental orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. So you can see pretty useful things for only having to pick up a tangle. And sometimes you don't even have to pick up the tangle. The tangle could just sit there, you shoot it with enemies around it, and you end up getting some kills. So it's pretty useful in that sense. Then Elemental Fury. While stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and elemental orb damage. So you stun a champion, you throw your throwing grenades, you throw your melee at it, you'll do a little more increased damage, which is noticeable, so I do enjoy using this perk. Then Rapid Fire Ranger. Rapid precision hits against a distant combatants weakens them for a short duration. Just something that I have on. Feel free to make changes wherever you want if you know your playstyle is going to be a little different. That's going to do it here for the artifact and the loadout. Let's get into the gameplay. So we're loading into the Lost Sector, and here you're going to notice this is going to be your first symbol. It's always going to be this little plate here to shoot, so just shoot it right off the bat. You can see that will allow you to move forward. Now over here on the right, you are going to have a barrier champion with some red health bar enemies. Now I thought I killed all the red health bar enemies here, and I thought those enemies in the back would just sit there, but then now you can see I went to send the barrier champion, and I had to deal with this thrall and some acolytes in there. So if you can, just try to make sure you get rid of all the red health bar enemies first, but you can see I do that. Then I pretty much just use malfeasance to hit crits, and then I use my auto rifle to break the shield again. And I just threw this tangle at him to do increased damage, and then you can see just go and get the finisher off. Pretty easy, didn't have to use any heavy ammo, and then just shoot that symbol, because if you don't shoot it, you can't move on to the next room. So you're going to see as I go here, we are going to have this path unlocked now. And when you go to your left and get rid of these thrall enemies, pick up those orbs, that way you can get your super faster, and then go in this direction. You're going to find more thrall, just get rid of them. If you don't kill them now, you can't kill them later, but they're going to like swarm you in certain areas. But you can see I found one symbol there, I shot it. There are other places it can be completely random, to be honest, so you either might get lucky and get the same symbols as me, or you might have to go to different areas. But you can see here where these traps are, they're gonna spawn cursed thrall, so just be careful with that. You have to trigger them, and then they're just gonna start spawning in. So you can see easy kills, easy orbs, pick up all of that. But you are gonna see me shoot my second symbol right here. Now the pathway will be unlocked after you shoot all of them, but another potential spawn can be right there. Another one can actually be right here to my left, but I'll show you that after I trigger the cursed thrall here. So you can see easy kills. All you gotta do is just shoot them. Make sure you're picking up those orbs, because you can see I'm about to get my super, and we're literally 2 minutes into the Lost Sector. But you can see after you get rid of all those enemies, this is one potential spawn here. Just know that it may be there, may not. But after you shoot your 2 symbols, you can go and work your way down here. Now this is, in my opinion, the hardest part of the Lost Sector, is just not dying here, because you're gonna be in this tunnel, and there's gonna be some red health bar enemies. So you can see I'm sitting there from a distance, just in case if I do have to run away because I'm one shot, I can do that. But you can see the barrier champion does end up spawning. I throw my decoy down, I use my LMG, and I was just trying to add clear at the same time. You can see he brings his shield out, I get the stun, shoot the decoy, that way the threllings can go down there. And it was pretty hectic, I'm not gonna lie, in the heat of the moment. But use advantage with your threllings, use your melee, use everything that you have, use your heavy. Just want to survive and stuff like that. You can see here I generate a tangle with my melee, and you're gonna see here that there's just some more enemies. I go and I shoot the tangle, and I get some heavy to spawn, so that was pretty lucky right there. And after you do that, it's pretty much the rest of the Lost Sector is pretty easy. But just know here you're gonna have some Acolyte enemies just spamming you, so I just went through a decoy down, got some easy kills. You are gonna have a Shrieker top left, which is gonna be pretty annoying. I'll show you that in a couple seconds, I think, because you can hear the audio. I heard it and I was like, wait, is it gonna shoot me? So I ran away and it ended up closing. And I was like, you know what, if I can get this kill, I'm gonna get it now. So it opened up its eye. I just hit the crits with the Malfeasance, and you can see the damage ends up, killing it with just like one mag pretty much. So I was like, okay, easy kill. Now we move up here and we're gonna deal with these enemies here as well as the Barrier Knight. So once I saw the Barrier Knight, I was like, okay, let me actually position myself in a good spot here. I throw some Threadling Grenades to get rid of the red Hellfire enemies while also doing damage to the Barrier Knight. Take out my heavy and stun the Barrier Knight and then just do damage with the LMG. If you can hear the sirens in the back, I'm sorry. They've been going for like 3 minutes at this point, is what it feels like. But hit that barrier kill. You can see I'm at Feast of Light ×4, so I'm not too worried about using Malfeasance to get these kills. But since they were just standing there, I was like, you know what? Might as well just get some easy kills. I picked up these orbs to get the armor charges. And I was trying to pick up that heavy, but it was actually like stuck between the box and the railing. So I threw a decoy. I was trying not to take too much damage from that Unstoppable. But now that I've dealt with the red Hellfire enemies, I'm just going to go for the Unstoppable Champion. You can see I got the stun. Started shooting with the LMG. And then after he pops back up, I'm going to use Malfeasance again. And you can see I'm going to switch to the LMG. And it's pretty much the gameplay loop. It's just do damage and then you just keep switching. Here I was like, I'm going to get the final kill with the Malfeasance. I was like, let me just reload. Thankfully, the Unstoppable Champion isn't like the Overload where after they come out of being stunned, they immediately get health. So you can take as much time as you want. Just obviously have some urgency because it is a champion. But you can see we're getting heavy. Make sure you're picking up as much heavy as you can. If you see your max on heavy, feel free to just use it and then pick up ammo bricks later. You can see for these knights, I just used Malfeasance. I could have used pretty much anything to get rid of them. But I was like, screw it. Just try to generate an orb of power. But I ended up getting stuck in that corner. And I was like, you know what? Just do the finisher. But here you can see, this is pretty much going to be the boss room right here. And I just noticed there was a heavy brick. So I was like, okay, cool. More heavy to use. And I was like, waiting for that to spawn. And here you're going to see some Acolytes. Get rid of them. And then pretty much everything else is going to be pretty easy. It can get a little crazy here if you don't know what to expect. You can see there I was getting swarmed. And then I go and I get rid of some more red Hellfire enemies. Now, at one point, you are going to have this mini-boss, is what I'm going to call it. Because you may think that's the final boss. It's not the final boss of the Lost Sector. Now, this solar shield was pretty annoying, so I was happy I had a solar AR to break the shield, as you can see. So I did that. Then I switched to Malfeasance, and I pretty much was just hiding behind this wall, trying to not take damage while also hitting crits. And you can see Malfeasance, even without Lucky Pants and the nerf that it got, it's still pretty strong against at least this enemy. So I was like, screw it. Easy kill, didn't have to use heavy. And I was pretty much just saving my super for the boss when they spawn in. You can see the portal is going to close and then open back up. You're going to see these knights. I just used my LMG because I was like, I'm sitting on too much heavy ammo. So let me just use it. And again, it's really good for ad clear and everything like that. You have a whole lot of ammo. You can go and not have to worry too much about, oh, should I save it for this, save it for that. Just go ahead and let it rip. You're going to have extra in the reserves anyway. You can see I almost died there, so I was like, let me take it easy now. I'm not going to challenge any more, enemies here. But I got this tangle, and I was trying to generate more heavy, as you can see here. Didn't end up working out for me. But I went up here, and I was just waiting for the boss to spawn. You can see some more Acolytes start spawning in. Just mow them down with your heavy. And then you can see these enemies here with the orange health bars. Get rid of them. And then once you get rid of these enemies, I'm pretty sure that's when the boss can spawn in. So you're going to see, I'm trying to pick up orbs. That way I am overcharged, or not overcharged. The armor charge is active. That way my weapons have a boost, just in case. But I go, and you can see I'm just mowing down these enemies because they're just pretty much going to come out the portal. You can see I'm just watching it. I'm watching my right as well because that's like a spawn. Then it, for whatever reason, it was like delayed. I was like, what's happening? There's nobody coming through the portal. You can see, once you see the wizard here, that's how you know the boss is going to spawn, as well as these cursed thrall to my right. And that would have been really bad if I didn't have my super, but you can see, easy kill right there. I ended up knowing, I was like, you know, if I just run to the wizard, there's a chance that I die because I'm just going to run up to them and lose my super. So let me kill those red hellfire enemies and then just kill the wizard with my LMG. After that, that's the lost sector. It's completely done. Go up here and get your chest and collect your loot. You can see for me, I was looking at it the wrong side. I was like, what's going on? That's going to do it for the lost sector guide. If you found it useful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Told you guys that if malfeasance got nerfed, I will come back and make lost sector guides. So here it is. Hopefully you found them all useful. A playlist will be popping up on screen right now with all of them. Drop a follow on my Twitch, twitch.tv/MarcusJam0. Ring the bell so you don't miss another video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.